Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the July edition of the Lebanon Plan Commission meeting. I will go ahead and call ourselves to order and note that all present members are accounted for. So all members of our commission are here. Thank you very much. In a summer month, that doesn't happen all the time, so I appreciate you. First item that we do have up is actually approval of minutes, and we do have 2 minutes, as you saw in the folder. So this would be the minutes for the standard meeting in June as well as the special meeting. And I would entertain any motions.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 15th and the June 29th.
Got a motion to approve both. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. I see no old business before us, so we'll move directly on to new business. The only item we have on our agenda this evening is docket 26-35. This is Gradison Land Development requesting some amendments to a PUD. And Ben, I believe you have the background for us.
Good evening, commission members. Just give you a quick recap here. This is a project that's been before you a couple different times over the last few years. So Spring Creek, if they want to pull the screen up, is at the northwest corner of State Road 39 300 North. See highlighted here in yellow. They're actually under construction out there on sections 1 and 2. So you've seen some activity on the site. This is a plan unit development ordinance that was originally adopted in 2023. This is actually from the 2025 amendment. This just gives you an idea a little bit of what the general layout is for the project. I think it's massaged a little bit from this yet, but this is the conceptual design from 2025. So as I mentioned, there was an amendment done in 2025. The builder that's part of this project was seeing some softening in the market for the duplexes that were originally proposed in 2023. So they wanted to modify the duplex lots, which is primarily what you're seeing in yellow in the center of this development, and make them single-family home lots, detached homes. So in doing so, in the smaller lots, looking at the home sizes, we wanted to, at that time, to make some architectural changes to those homes to try to address the fact that the garage would be very prominent, and looked at doing 2 single car garage doors on the front of that home, and typically would be an 8-foot garage door, 8-foot wide garage door. Since that time, obviously, this project has progressed, and the builders are looking at these lots and the requirements and saying, hey, 8-foot wide garage doors are a challenge. A lot of the vehicles that people drive nowadays, the widths, some of them may not even fit through an 8-foot wide garage door, or some of them are really tight. So they actually prefer just to do the standard 16-foot garage door, which allows, in the case where you have a wide car like that, probably 1 car to be in the garage and 1 car outside. So what the Gradison did is it came and said, hey, we got builders that are really pushing back on this architecture requirement. They want to do the single or the 2-car garage door, willing to do some upgraded materials on the garage door, the windows, the decorative hardware. They said, and as kind of additional thing that we could do on the architecture of these homes, because we're changing that garage door, we're also willing to make sure that there's a minimum masonry requirement on the front. And also, rather than vinyl being the prominent material, we'll also say it either has to be masonry or fiber cement siding. So they offered an alternative architectural standard since they were wanting to change that garage requirement. So that's essentially the change we're looking at here tonight, is that it really only affects area B, and that area B would go back to the 2-car garage doors, which is actually the same as what's being used in all other areas of the community. It was the only one that had the single-car garage door requirement at that time. So this will actually make it a little bit, so it's more continuous throughout the neighborhood. They're all using 2-car garage doors. And all homes, not just in area B, but all homes will have the masonry and the fiber cement siding requirements. So that is, in essence, in a nutshell, what the amendment is before you here tonight. The only other thing is the project is now formally known as Spring Creek. It's now going to be called Centerra. So those are the 2 elements of the amendment that's before you here tonight, is changing the name from Spring Creek to Centerra. And then just the changes I discussed about allowing 2-car garages throughout the development with the additional architectural material requirement as discussed. So quickly on process, this is a PUD amendment. So this does have to go to council. So this tonight will be the Plan Commission consideration of that amendment and a recommendation that then gets forwarded to the council, who would then theoretically adopt this amendment as an ordinance. And that will take 2 readings of an ordinance to the council. So that's a real quick rundown for you. Adam Mears from Gradison Development is here to answer any further questions you have any on those changes, if you'd like a little bit more background on that as well.
Thank you very much, Ben. Any questions from the commission for Ben?
Real quick, confirmation that the masonry requirement will just be on the front facade, but the fiber cement will be the entire
Yes.
structure?
In essence, what they've done is said vinyl siding is not permitted. So you're in essence required to, there's a very limited list of materials that are permitted, masonry and fiber cement being the two primary ones.
Thank you.
Questions from the commission for Ben?
And one more clarification, it's the fiber cement and masonry is required regardless, or is it two smaller doors? Is it smaller doors or that, or is it?
No, they've actually, it's just the two car garage
Okay,
with
only one
the
option.
masonry. Yeah, there's just one option. Yep.
Other questions? Would applicant care to speak this evening?
Good evening. My name is Adam Mears. I'm with Gradison Land Development. As always, Ben does a great job of giving you all of our information and stealing all of my thunder. Really, I think the biggest point is generally anytime we come back for modifications, I always try to like to give something if we're asking for something. And I know that while vinyl was allowed, we thought that would be one thing we kind of give in order to understand, hey, we're asking for something out of Lebanon, and our return would be to just remove the ability to do vinyl. That's everything in except for the multifamily, which this is just dealing with the single family homes. And again, the two-car garage, the individual garage is just over the last year or two kind of realized that's just not going to work for the majority of cars. So again, we're really happy with the project moving forward, like Ben said, into our Section 2 dirt work and sanitary, and be happy to answer any questions you guys may have. And hope you'll give us a favorable recommendation.
Thank you very much.
Mark, I do have a question before you walk too far away. I understand this change is because of the modern cars, you know, the F-150s and the Suburbans and
Yep.
things. Is consideration being given to the size of the garage space itself, not just the opening? I mean, are these homes going to be deep enough? The garage is going to be deep enough for Suburban to fit in there if we're accommodating the width with the two-car?
Yeah, they should be deep enough. The problem was with that divider in the middle, it made it difficult to really get one of those bigger cars wedged in there without being able to still get their doors open and those things. So without that divider in the middle, yeah, they should be fine. They're standard deep garages like every other development. They're not special, specially built extra large garages. They're just essentially a standard garage. And I think we have some language in there, Ben, that was in our original PUD that had some size requirements related to the width of that garage. But yeah,
You had a minimum square footage
Right.
for the garage. It didn't
Right.
indicate a width or depth.
yeah, right. But the minimum square footage, yes. And I think the intent is to be able to have those cars that can fit in the garage, correct? And we think there'd be challenges with that now.
Other questions from the commission? Perfect. Good deal. All right. Well, thank you very much. This item is a public hearing item, so I will officially open the public hearing on docket 26-35. If you'd like to speak, please come up to the microphone, indicate your name and address for us, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes if possible.
Yeah, good evening. Mark Michael, 815 West 300 North. Really have questions more than anything. So the amendment says that they're changing the name so it could be further included in the district, but the amendment doesn't specify what the district is. Can somebody please tell me what that is?
Yeah, well, we can clarify all the questions that you have
Okay.
at wrap up. Yeah.
And then the map that Ben showed earlier does not match the map that was sent out to everyone. The map that was sent out talks about the right-of-way, which makes it look like they're going to try to take part of the south side of 300. Is that accurate?
The south side of 300 would not be directly involved with this project.
Or the road, the right-of-way that's listed on the map that was sent out.
I can jump in here. So no, I guess the easy answer is no, they're not looking to acquire any right of way on the south side of the road. And in fact, we have asked them and they've cooperated with this request to push the whole neighborhood to the north because the state is planning on reconstructing 300 North, probably starting in the fall, maybe in the spring. I'm not sure on their timing at this time. But essentially, they would be holding the south edge of pavement where it is and building the new 4-lane section to the north. So in fact, the existing south edge of pavement will become the edge of a path. That'll be a path, tree lawn, 2 lanes in each direction, a median. So they're dedicating, I don't know, Adam, you may remember, I think it's 105 foot of right-of-way on the north side so that road can be entirely built to the north.
Okay, just want to make sure, because the map that came out made it look like that they were doing that. And you answered my next question with the timeline, so thank you. And then the last question is, so if I, as a citizen of the county, don't mow my lawn, I'm going to get cited. When is the city going to make them mow their weeds that are 5 foot tall and you can barely even get to the mailbox because they're all surrounded and there's mailboxes up and down the road that you can't even see them because all the weeds have grown and all that cotton and everything else blows right over to everybody else's yards because they're not maintaining them. But if I would do that, I'd be fined. So when is the city going to make them mow all those weeds?
Yep, we will certainly address that
Thank
in
you.
a moment. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Any additional public comment? Seeing no movement towards the microphone, I will go ahead and close the public comment. So public hearing has officially opened and closed on docket 26-35. And so the 2 questions I believe we have outstanding, number 1 is around the district itself.
Yeah.
And then number 2, of course, on the grass.
So in terms, I think it's real just the terminology being used. It's a planned unit development district. So the name change of Spring Creek to Centerra is just that. They just decided they wanted to be named Centerra rather than Spring Creek. So there's no district necessarily that's changing. That's just the terminology used for a planned unit development as a district. So it's just what's within the borders of the property. In terms of the weeds, this is the first we've heard that there's an issue out there. Nobody's actually complained to our office, so we'd be happy to get with it. It might be right along the road.
I think it's the larger parcel that's at
Oh, the Meyer.
intersection.
Yeah, we'll be happy.
It's the entire way. I've left 4 messages with the city on it and not get recent. It's the entire length from 39 all the way to the tracks.
We will be happy to address that.
Yep. And then just to clarify for the folks here and also online, so if there is an issue with any surrounding neighbors, there's a couple of different ways that folks can report issues, correct? So obviously, old school, you've got the phone.
Yeah,
which
the 2 easiest
will be
ways are to
addressed.
call and ask to speak with code enforcement. And usually either Makeda or Andrew will be able to answer the phone on that. The other way is to use iWork online. It's IWORQ. And in the Lebanon system, you can submit it and it goes directly to the code enforcement staff. Those are the 2 easiest ways to do so.
So a couple of different avenues there and noted.
We'll send code enforcement out to verify the location of issues and get in contact with the appropriate property owners.
Perfect. Any questions from the commission based off of the public feedback or for Ben or anyone else?
One additional for you. Yeah. Could you give us a timeline on, obviously it looked like you guys got a lot of the infrastructure in place. When should we start seeing things go vertical?
Section 1 is a small section. If I'm, excuse me, if I'm right, it's maybe 14 units just to get some lots down and get their models going. I think we're pretty much done with everything, just waiting on water now at this point. Section 2, which is going to be a much larger section, we're about 50% done with most of the infrastructure. So whenever the water gets done, I don't have that schedule. right in front of me. But they're chomping to get models going. So I think whenever we can get the water tied in, water generally is going to be behind a few months. So they're ready to go. Everything's in other than the water at this point on that original section. And then we won't be far behind on section 2.
Other questions or comments from the commission? So with that, I would entertain any motions on docket 26-35.
Make a motion that the Plan Commission for the proposed amendments to the Spring Creek Centerra PUD ordinance to the Common Council with a positive recommendation.
Got a motion for a positive recommendation and a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you guys very much for that, and thank you for the public comment and feedback. That is the only item I show on our agenda for this evening. So if there's nothing else for the good of the group, I would entertain any motions on adjournment. Got a motion to adjourn? And a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.